Aloha, I'm Annie Elison. This is an update on the County of Kauai guest house rules and regulations. On Kauai, we like to say that we have a housing crisis, especially an affordable housing crisis. It is very difficult for both buyers and renters to find options. One of the things the County of Kauai has done to try to improve this is they have changed the guest house rules and regulations. These were changed or updated in 2022, and they kind of mimicked the laws that the County of Maui had changed as well. Before 2022, guest homes could only be 500 square feet interior and could not have a kitchen, right? So, you know, often as happens on Kauai, people would retro go in there and put in some kind of kitchenette. But it's hard to qualify as real housing if there's no kitchen. And 500 square feet, that's a tiny home, you know, smaller than, but around 500 square feet. So it's not a super large property either. So in 2022, the County of Kauai updated or changed the rules and regulations surrounding guest houses. Now these laws are going to apply to properties that have guest house rights. Not all properties do, but you can have guest houses both on residentially zoned property or lots and on ag land as well. Typically, when an ag parcel has been CPR'd, one of those CPR lots will have guest house rights. So if it goes from one parcel to 6 CPR parcels, one of the 6 will have guest house rights. If you're looking at a piece of land, especially ag land, that has guest house rights, that gives that property more value than the one next door. Some of the updated rules and regulations for guest house rights now, post 2022, is they can now be up to 800 square feet of interior floor space. The difference between 500 and 800 square feet in livable space makes a big impact. You can also now have a full kitchen in a guest house, which is also, it makes it more livable space, which is what we need on Kauai, affordable, livable space. Guest homes, whether on residentially zoned lots or on ag land, can be used, they can be lived in by the owner, they can be rented long-term, or they can just be used for guests of the owner, right? But they cannot be used as a short-term rental. Even if it's located in a visitor destination area, guest houses are not to be used as short-term rentals. One other requirement a guest house will have to provide is one off-road parking spot. You'll have to provide for at least one additional car to park somewhere near the guest house. On residentially zoned lots, the lot will need to be at least 9,000 square feet. And the lot can have no more than one dwelling. If you have a house and you've already built an additional dwelling unit or an additional rental unit on that lot, even if you technically have guest house rights, you've forgone that right when you built your ADU or your ARU. Guest house rights are only still applicable if there's only one other dwelling on that lot. Now, if you have a cesspool, which a lot of properties on Kauai have, when you go to get your building permits for your guest house, the County of Kauai is going to look at your plans and they're going to say, oh, you have a cesspool. Before we'll give you the permits to build the guest house, you're going to have to upgrade to a septic tank. Not a problem. There's a rule in the state of Hawaii on the books anyways that says by 2050, all cesspools will have to be upgraded to a septic tank. However, with septic tanks, you can have no more than 5 bedrooms per septic tank. And you can have no more than 1 septic tank per either lot of record or every 10,000 square feet. So if you have a house with 5 bedrooms and your lot size is 12,000 square feet, you can't build a guest house because all the bedrooms that septic tank will allow for are already taken by the primary residence. Now, if you're in an area where there is either a public or a private sewer system, then you don't have to worry about that because you can hook up to the sewer system and you can have as many bedrooms as the powers that be allow. One other thing that's really important to check, that you'll need to check when applying for your guest house rights, whenever you're building on Kauai, you have to get it signed off by the Department of Water, which generally is the most difficult department to get it signed off on, and the Department of Fire, right? You're going to have to comply with all their rules and regulations and make sure that the pipe at the street is wide enough to allow for one more dwelling with one more bedroom. And that is not always the case. If you have a lot and it has guest house rights, let's say it's 10,000 square feet, you have a 3-bedroom home, you fit every requirement, you know exactly where the off-street parking is going to go, and you're building it to provide for affordable housing, then you really should go to the County of Kauai, because there's a lot of fees that the County of Kauai will waive in terms of permitting, as long as you agree to rent that house for at least 5 years at an affordable housing rate. It adds up to quite a bit of savings, and it's definitely something you want to take advantage of if this is your intention in building your guest house. I've shown a lot of properties with amazing guest houses. A guest house, even though it's small, can definitely be beautiful and livable. There are a lot of options in terms of getting the guest house onto your property. You know, we use a term on Kauai called kit homes, meaning you buy all the parts of the house together, you bring them to Kauai, you assemble them on site. You do need a licensed contractor, generally speaking, to assemble them, and you would want to get the plans for the kit house permitted through the County of Kauai before you buy it, right? So you want to make sure you're following all the rules and regulations, but it doesn't have to be as difficult as building a small house. This housing Kauai crisis, although acute on Kauai, is not unique to Kauai. There are companies building things to make adding things like a guest house much, much simpler for people and more affordable. Look around online, there's lots of options to make this as easy as possible when it comes to building a house or adding a dwelling to your property. I'm also going to be doing specific videos on ADUs, additional dwelling units, ARUs, additional rental units, and even homestays, which is a true bed and breakfast. So if you're interested in learning more about those or anything else having to do with Kauai, especially Kauai real estate, please like and subscribe below. If you have any questions about Kauai or Kauai real estate, please also ask me in the comments below. I'm here to help, especially if you love Kauai as much as I do.